Hello and welcome back to the Vega Baja Real Estate Talk here at Televisión Vega Baja. Today we have some very interesting topics again. We talk about the taxes and fees when buying a property. In the expert talk we talk about, we have an association, the Help Vega Baja here, and we have an interesting exclusive interview at the very end. So don't go away, stay with us, see you around. Taxes and fees when buying a property in Spain. Last week we talked about the taxes when you sell a property, and this week with our expert on the plateau we talk about the taxes and fees when you buy a property in Spain. I introduce today my expert, who is Deborah Eunice Quintana. She is the CEO of CSB Consulting Torrevieja. Hello, Deborah.
Hello, Ulrich.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Deborah, when it comes to buying a property in Spain, many people have bought a property, but they were a little bit confused about all the different taxes, all the different numbers that comes together. Let's go through step by step, right from the start. What does somebody that wants to buy a property have to keep in mind? So what's the biggest part of it?
The biggest part. The whole process is a big part. I would start for the application of the land registry search. When you wish to buy a house, you should make sure that the house that you are going to buy is free of any debts or any encumbrances.
Okay.
That would be the first thing.
Okay, so you want
to... for peace of mind of the client, the first thing.
So you want to make sure that the property you're going to buy is really free of debts, and the place to look out for is the land registry.
Yes. This is a minimum cost, maybe 20 euros, 30 euros, and we'll make sure that everything is correct and you're buying the right property.
Okay, that's the first place to start with. You found the property and there you go to the land registry to see what's the... But the private person normally doesn't do it, so who does it normally for you?
If you know the land registry office where the property is registered, the person can go directly to the office. Otherwise, the notary would do it at the time of signing the title deeds, or a solicitor that prepares the documents for you.
Okay, so then we know, okay, that's the situation with the property. Let's assume it's free of any debts, so no charges on it, and the person wants to go ahead and wants to buy the property. Tax-wise and fee-wise, what's coming first? So what's the biggest part, and what should somebody take into consideration? Because he sees the property advertised, let's say in our example today we have 100,000 euros assumed, the property costs 100,000 euros, that's the asking price, and so what's the taxes involved?
We assume the 100,000 euros example, and then we need to confirm if we are buying a new house or a resale. This would be the major difference between the two taxes. If you're buying a new house, you should take into account the price from the builder plus the 10% VAT. We are talking always about the Comunidad Valenciana. We are in this area. Plus the transmission tax, which will be 1.5%. If we are talking about resale, you pay the price to the vendor plus 10% transmission tax.
Okay.
There will be no VAT on that.
So the biggest difference between new development and resale properties is actually the new development has 1.5 stamp duty tax added to it.
Yes.
But in Valencia, and as you said, it is different between the different communities here in Spain, comunidades. So in Valencia at the moment, as it stands, it's 10% for
a resale,
and also
1.5 for a new house.
Okay. That's the purchasing tax. It's a big part. In 100,000 euro, that would be around 10,000 euros in a resale property, and plus 1.5% for the new development. What's next? So you have obviously you have some conveyancing to do. You want to make sure that this property is free of charges and everything.
Of course, once you have decided which property you are going to buy, you have been to the land registry office and you know it's totally free of any debts, and you have an idea of how much the tax will be. You go to a notary who will prepare the official title deeds. the document which will show details of the vendor, details of the house, and details of the purchaser. The cost of the notary could be around 800 euros, depending on the number of documents that they have to attach or add to the title deeds. This may increase the cost. The more documents are included in the deeds, the more expensive the notary fee will be. Of course, every notary has a standard fee and their own prices.
Yeah, so it is different, and it depends on which notary office you sign, depends on where the notary office is, and so on. But a rough figure, ball figure for property around 100,000 euros is approximately
around 800 euros.
Okay, okay. It could be slightly less, it could be slightly more, depending on the work or the documents involved into that. Okay, that's the notary fee. And obviously, the notary fee itself is not the only charge. There's a fee. There is another fee as well for the land registry.
When the documents have been signed, the deeds to make you the official owner of the house have to be taken to the land registry office. In the land registry office, the registrar will register the document, and the cost of doing that may be around 600, 500.
Okay.
Also.
So it also depends on the price of the property as well. Depends on the.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Good. So we have the conveyancing fees, we have the notary fees, and we have the property registry. When you buy a property, you need the so-called NIE number, and to get the NIE number through the Spanish police office, there is a cost involved into that as well, isn't it?
Yes, as well. If the person is in Spain, the person can go to the police office, make an appointment, and obtain the number. And if the person is not here, you also have the possibility of doing it through the solicitor or fiscal representative, who will do it maybe for a fee between 60 euros, 100 euros.
Okay, per NIE number. If it's a couple, it's double the number. Double the price.
This is per person.
Okay. So the NIE number, you can apply for it when you are here in Spain, while you are searching, for example, or you found the property, you say, okay, now I go to the NIE office with my solicitor, for example, apply for it. Takes a few days until you get it, but...
Usually, if you do it in Torrevieja, you go one day and you get the number on the following day.
Okay, okay. But you have to apply for it now, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, you have to apply for it online.
It's compulsory to have an NIE number, which is a national identification number for foreigners who wish to buy a house or even to buy a car. You need to have that number.
And what if the buyer is not here? So he saw a property, but the next day he's leaving, so he won't come back until he completes the sale. Is there any other way to get the NIE number?
Yes, he can give power of attorney to the solicitor or fiscal representative, and the solicitor will obtain the number on behalf of the client.
Okay, so that would be, let's add
This is very easy.
Okay,
no problem.
very straightforward. And you can get it even, can't you? You can get it through the embassy back in your country?
Yes, usually this is also possible, but it takes longer than if you do it through the solicitor in Spain.
Okay, okay, good. Then you want to make sure that certain bills are paid off the house. You obviously want to buy a freehold property. You want to make sure that all the supplying bills are paid, and you want to make sure that all that is done. So what can we say about the cost for that? Is there any ballpark figure that we can say roughly about that amount, or is it really down to each individual contract?
Once you become the owner of the property, we understand you should transfer all utility bills into your own name. To do that, should contact the water company, electricity company, the council tax. Maybe there is an insurance, a house insurance, or telephone, gas. All those bills should be transferred to you as a new owner. The cost of doing all those checks with the companies and change of name, when it's done by the fiscal advisor, this is around 120, 150 euros.
Okay.
This is not expensive, and you make sure that the fiscal advisor will arrange a direct debit, so you make automatic payments through your bank account in Spain to cover those bills. Even if you're not here, the bills will be paid and you make sure you're not cut off.
Yeah, no, that's sometimes what happens. People come back because very often they've tried to do it themselves, and but if they use a solicitor or even a proper real estate agent, they can do it. But it is definitely done. It should be done by somebody who knows what to do.
We have a lot of cases when they come and they ring us. Oh, there's no electricity, please contact the company. Yeah,
and you realize, okay, the previous owner, he cut it off, he stopped paying it, and it hasn't been transferred into the new owner's name.
Yes, from before the purchase or at the time of signing the title deeds, to avoid this kind of problems that you have mentioned, that the previous owner has cut off the supply. Of course, if you're signing the deeds, the fiscal representative will make the necessary checks and will make sure before signing the deeds that there is connection in all the supplies. This is correct. And of course, we also suggest, as you have mentioned in your previous program, that there should be a retention to cover any possible outstanding bills from the previous owner. Even if you make the checks, there could be something that you don't know, or even the last bill until when the contract is changed. So we also suggest to make a retention from the sale price to cover those bills. Yeah,
it's quite interesting. Due to the last program, somebody rang in and he asked, well, he had a case. He bought a property, and in the title deeds was mentioned that the seller, actually that's how it should be, the seller pays the so-called plusvalia tax. We talked about this last week. But the seller was a non-resident. So actually when a buyer buys off a non-resident seller, the buyer has to make sure that these the 3% and the plusvalia tax are being retained. And in this case, he didn't retain it. So the seller went off to back home, he said he will pay it, and he never paid it. So this is now the situation. What are we doing now? What's the next step to do? The buyer at the end, is he responsible for that tax, or who is still responsible? Also it says on the title deeds the seller is.
The person responsible was the seller, but there was no money retained in that case. Now the problem, there could be an embargo in the house. The problem will end in the buyer. So we suggest that the buyer makes the payment and try to recover the money, at least in a friendly way, from the seller.
So it is very important to make sure that you retain. I mean, we are not talking about small money. Plusvalia, we know in particular here in Torrevieja or other town halls, can be quite a considerable amount of money. So we're talking of several thousand euros. So you want to definitely make sure you retain that money in order to pay to the town hall.
Correct. We have properties here in Torrevieja, in the area near Carrefour in Las Torretas, inheritance plusvalia, more than 20,000 euros.
Wow.
So it's better to check that before you do anything else.
Yeah. And actually, in order to retain it, it's good to ask a legal expert and to go with a legal expert on this, because it is a lot of money, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you mentioned there's obviously then coming on top house insurance. You want to insure your house, your content. Normally, a house insurance, we put on the example 120 euros per year.
Yes, we always give the option to the client to obtain different quotes from different companies, and they usually choose the one they know, or the one they like more. So this is a standard basic house insurance, but of course depends on the amount of building and contents, how much furniture you have, or how expensive it is. Yeah. This is something very personal.
Yeah. But for the example, probably 100,000 euros, a house insurance for a standard property is probably about 120, could be 150, could be less, something like that. Then you have to have a bank account, obviously, don't you?
Yes and no. Well, yes, at the moment with the SEPA payments, some companies, at the moment it is necessary to have a bank account, we must say that. But in the future, maybe not. Because of those SEPA payments, you can arrange all direct debits through your bank account. So if you have the IBAN code of your account, even if it's in a different country, you can arrange direct debits with the account that you have in your own country.
Okay, yeah. But normally, if you have a bank account here in Spain, which is probably handy to have, if you have, you make sure that you consider some costs, something like for the running cost for the bank
30
account.
euros.
30 euros, something like
Yes.
that per year. So if you're a couple, if you are two non-residents, it comes up to about 60 euros a year. Okay. And then, as we said, if it's obviously water, electricity, the supplying bills is difficult to say, but it depends on your consumption. But a standard fee, roughly?
Yes, a standard water is paid every quarter. So you may get a 30 euros bill every 3 months, for example. Electricity is paid, depending on the kind of contract you have, monthly or bi-monthly, every 2 months, and you can get a bill of 20 euros, maybe. Electricity is cheaper.
That's if you don't use it, obviously.
Of course, this is for when you're not here.
If you use
I
it
don't tell you how much I pay.
If you're here in summer, you have the aircon going, you have a
Yes.
couple of times showers a day,
Be
so
up
it could
to
be
50
going up.
euros.
Of course, yeah. Okay. If you have alarm, so you have an alarm system installed, that has a cost that should be added onto it. And then obviously you need to make sure that the following year, the year you buy, probably not, but the following year you have to pay the summa for the year, the council tax.
The summa, the council tax, as explained in your previous program as well, is paid by the seller, but the current year when you're buying, it belongs to the seller. The following year, you should make sure that it's transferred into your name and you pay that directly through your bank account.
Okay, Deborah, so if we have this example, we have a purchasing price of 100,000 euros, the purchasing tax around 10%, well, 10%, not around, exactly 10%, so 10,000 euros. Conveyancing fee for the solicitor, about 1,200 euros, we assume, for a case like that. Notary fees, roughly about 800 euros. Property, so the land registry, about 600 euros. NIE number about 60 euros, and the changing of supplying contracts about 120 something euros. So it all sums up then, and this is about what actually you really have to pay. So you got to make sure that you have that money in your bank account.
Yes.
And so when it comes to the notary office, to the completion date, that's when actually basically the whole amount, or well, part of the initial deposit that's being retained or paid, so that the outstanding amount is being paid to the seller. If the seller is a private person, you pay the price to the seller, and the tax. Where is the tax being paid to?
The price of the property is given to the seller on the completion date. Usually you prepare a banker's draft that is released on the same day. So when you sign, you pay. The legal costs depends on who is going to deal with the registration of the house. If the notary will be dealing with that, they will give you a provision of funds that you will give to the notary, and he will register the property, pay the taxes, and release the document with all the stamp duties and everything ready to the purchaser. If the real estate or the fiscal representative will deal with that, then you will pay the costs, the full legal costs, to the solicitor, and he will deal with that, same as the notary.
Mm-hmm. So it basically depends on who registers the property in the land registry?
Yes.
Okay. And the tax is obviously the purchasing tax that goes when you buy resale through the solicitor or through the notary to the Spanish
authorities. To the tax office.
Okay. If you buy a new build property, whom do you pay? Is it the same way, or is there a difference?
It is the same way. It will be a builder instead of a private individual selling, and you will pay the same way. Notary or solicitor or fiscal representative who will be dealing with the full registration, that person will be dealing with that.
Okay. Good. I think that's about it. Obviously, this is an example when you buy cash, let's say, so without any mortgage. If you have a mortgage, it's not that we go into details about the mortgage right now, but if you have a mortgage, you have to allow some extra costs, don't you?
Yes. In that case, the bank will deal with the process, because all the banks, they want to make sure that if they are giving you the money, that you purchase a property which is freehold, and they want to make sure everything is fully following the law. That means that the gestoría from the bank will do the registration. So any money to be paid will be given to the bank. And the bank will go to the land registry office, will pay the notary fee, will make the payment of the tax to the tax office, and will release the deeds when they are registered to you with all completed, showing a breakdown of all the money paid, and any money left will be refunded to the client.
Okay, so you have to allow mortgages. Obviously, there's an administrative fee for the bank to handle the mortgage, and there is a mortgage opening fee. So it really...
Yes. When there is a mortgage, apart from the standard fees that we have just mentioned, there will be, again, notary fee and land registry fee, plus the opening fee for the bank, plus any other bank charges for the mortgage. So it will be more expensive because there will be two documents to register, not only one.
Okay, yeah, you have the title deeds for the property and the title deeds
for the mortgage.
For the mortgage, so two title deeds. So you want to make sure. So this is important to know. If somebody asks for a mortgage, it's not only, okay, of the 100,000, I want 40,000 euro. It's not just a little bit more money. You want to make sure you really know exactly the expenses with everything going into it, what you have to pay additionally.
Yes, we always would like to check this with the banks first before the clients agree to sign any documents, because we have a lot of, from the experience, we know that if the client needs 40,000, they just sign 40,000, and this is not enough to cover everything. We need to make sure they have enough for the legal costs.
So that normally comes afterwards, and people are sometimes surprised that, oh gosh,
they have not enough money in the bank account.
No funds left, And there is valuation as well, a fee for valuing the property, for example. So that's a couple of €100 or 300 euros as well. So you want to make sure you know all that.
Yes, this will be included in all the bank charges, what they are doing to allow the mortgage.
Okay. So when you buy a property, you see the asking price advertised, you accept the asking price, or you make an offer and the offer is accepted or whatever, but at the end there's a figure you pay. In our example, it's 100,000 euros. So if you buy with a mortgage, without a mortgage, you want to make sure that either your real estate agent or your solicitor tell you exactly what's the bottom figure, what comes on top of it. And as we said just now, in particular, if you buy with a mortgage, there's some additional costs involved. Okay, I think that covers pretty much everything. Thank you very much, Deborah, for coming. Deborah is, again, CEO of CSB Consulting in Torrevieja with more than 20 years of experience into that. There's hardly anything that can surprise you, Deborah, when buying a property, is there?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming, and don't go away. We will be joined now, after the break, by the association Help Vega Baja, and I'm very excited about talking to the president and the welfare officer of Help Vega Baja in a minute. Welcome back. Now it's the lifestyle talk, and today I have some very special guests here. Many of us come down to enjoy life down here, to be on the beaches, on the golf courses, and out and about and just be having fun. But there's some other people who really have a completely different idea about living here in the Vega Baja area. And today I'm joined by the president and the welfare officer of Help Vega Baja, an association, a non-profit organization that helps others because they are in kind of more difficult situations. Hello and welcome to the program. Michelle Masson,
yes,
the president of Help Vega Baja, and Wendy Burton, the welfare officer.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Thank you.
Help Vega Baja is an organization that helps others, as the name says. What exactly do you do, and what exactly are you doing, Michelle?
The aim of our charity, well, the mission statement is to actually help people in times of need, particularly in times of crisis. So we help people in many different ways.
Okay, so I've seen you have more than one office, and you have where are those offices exactly, and what do you do through those offices?
Okay, our main office is in San Miguel, which is where all the administration for the charity is undertaken. And then we have an office in Torrevieja, in the centre of Torrevieja, and a help desk in La Marina also. We have lots of other activities which go on throughout the Vega Baja area, groups, hospital visiting teams, friendship centres, a market stall. It goes on and on. There's an awful lot that's been going on. We have been established in the area for over 35 years. So
wow, 35 years.
Absolutely.
Helping people.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wendy, as a welfare officer, what exactly are you doing then in the association?
My role is anybody that needs help, that maybe can't visit the office because of disability, or they can't drive, or whatever the circumstances may be. I will actually go to their home, do an assessment, see what help is available either from the UK or through the Spanish Social Services Department. A lot of people don't realise in Spain that people over the age of 65, British people, can actually claim attendance allowance from the United Kingdom. The form is quite daunting. It's not difficult. There's a lot of it. And I go and complete those forms for them. And any other referrals that I can make to other charities as well.
I think that's what you very often come across, not only in this respect, but very often that people just don't ask for help because they don't know, first of all, where to go, and secondly, whom to ask for help.
Yeah, I think, as you said in the beginning, people come to Spain or any other European country, wherever, and they buy a dream. But very few people think about what if, or have a plan B. And I see a lot of people that are well into their 80s who could have been claiming these benefits for a long time, but they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. Michelle, I've been to your offices. I've seen all the people walking in and out. It's multicultural.
Absolutely.
People going in. What exactly, when they arrive, I guess for somebody walking in the office, they have really some problems. So is it very often the last point where they're coming to?
They're coming to us for help, and it can be for a myriad of questions on how to obtain their SIP card, how to exchange their driving licence, down to perhaps somebody saying that a member of their family has passed away and they don't know how to deal, what's the next steps, what they have to do. So we have volunteers trained on the front desks of each of our offices, and in our San Miguel office we actually now have a private room where people can go to talk privately, because obviously they don't want to be discussing their business in front of everyone else. So we do have the room there for them, but it can be, well, we never know what's going to come through the door.
Yeah.
And as you say, they're coming through all the time with different questions. And if we don't know the answers, then we'll find someone that does. So, yes. And people obviously also come in for memberships as well. So we're very busy in all the offices.
And I've seen you have also a room where you have walking aids, where you have wheelchairs, which people can rent. Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have hire equipment such as you say, wheelchairs or commodes, and we rent those out for a period of up to usually 8 weeks for people at a reduced price as well. So.
Okay, and you have part of books people can buy to raise funds, or clothes people can buy. Is that right?
Yes, we have a charity shop, and for very small donations, there's everything that you could possibly need to fill your wardrobe. So yes, and that's the money that we receive through donations on the clothes excuse me, goes towards funding people that need our support.
Wendy, when people walk in and you see you can help them just by filling in a form, you personally, what do you feel? I mean, this is obviously a non-profit organization, but personally, what does it give you as a volunteer, you are there every day?
I actually work from home, because if I sat in San Miguel office, the front staff deal with a lot of walk-in appointments, walk-ins. If it is more in depth and it's to do with a disability or an illness or something like that, then I get the referral scanned to me at home and I make my own appointments. But just knowing that you're helping somebody, you're putting them in the right direction, I'm filling out a claim form for them, which, you know, if somebody gets attendance allowance, that's an extra £53 a week, can make all the difference. It's just so satisfying.
Yeah.
It is really extremely satisfying.
What you have 3 officers, we know. What would you say? What's the most you would need right now, or what?
The most we need is always the same as every charity in the area, is volunteers to actually keep those offices and all the activities, such as the hospital visiting teams and the office and the other groups going, because without the volunteers we have no charity. And I have to say it's a privilege to work alongside them day after day, because they do a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, it is, I guess. Money is one thing to have money, but it is so positive for yourself as well. We talked off camera, Michelle, when giving at the same time as receiving, isn't it? Absolutely.
Volunteers get as much from volunteering as they do, as we do from them. But of course the donations are magnificent that we receive from the red boxes that we have in the various outlets to people having events for us and so on and so forth, because then we're able to give back to the community. As an example, over the last 2 years I think we've given back over 55,000 euros to good causes. That's across the board for Spanish charities, English, British I should say. You know, there's no prejudice. It can go wherever it's needed.
Yeah. And this and your work as an association has been awarded, has been recognized by. We see it here. You brought a couple of awards, and it's nice to see that the society is recognizing this, because you are in contact with many other associations, both non-Spanish and Spanish local associations.
Yeah. We think it's very important that charities work together to help people in the community. So we have collaborated with various charities in the area, such as Age Concern and the AECC, and we've also set up a group called CARE, which is Communication and Resource Exchange, whereby the presidents and people like Wendy come along and we exchange views and how to help people together. So we're not volunteers, and our resources are very precious to any charity, so it's important that we can help each other, because if we help each other we're able to help the people in the community more.
Okay. So if somebody wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way of getting?
Through the San Miguel office, or we do have a web page, www.helpvegabaca.com, or through our Facebook page. Our Facebook page has all our up-to-date activities and contact details. So that's probably one of the best places for us. Yes.
Perfect. Something else you want to add, Wendy?
Yeah, we have this thing in our charity that we only publish certified, verified information. We don't go on hearsay. So for me, obviously, it's the UK website, gov.uk, or an NHS site or whatever, to get the actual correct information before we give it out. One other thing I'd like to say is it's been brought to our attention, and there's absolutely no right or wrong in this, but especially for people, that people are charging to complete attendance allowance claim forms, and they are charging up to €100. It's a business, and I totally understand that, but as a charity we actually complete them for free, and €100 is a lot of money out of somebody's pension. Okay.
I can only thank you very much to be here today. Wish you all the best for the future. I think you do a magnificent job. So important to help others. Wish you all the best, and I hope. I'm sure we will be in contact, and whenever
sure
we can help, I can help. I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that was Help Vega Baja. You stay with me. Just around the corner, we have the exclusive interview with the golf professional Miguel Angel Jimenez, who visited the golf course of La Marquesa in La Marquesa Golf and Country Club, and we have been talking to him exclusively. The Vega Baja area is a paradise for many things, but it is for sports, because of the climate, one of the best locations you can dream of. And there is one sport that is particularly popular in the area, we all know about, because there's so many golf courses that the golf sport is popular amongst all the Northern European nations. But today we are here for one particular reason on one particular golf course.
Danny's crashed his Cadillac, he ain't hurt anybody, he still wasn't drinking. He was just outside Detroit. You know those roads, they are all broke, you can't get any place, there ain't no point in driving. He's flying in today, he's been all around the USA, he's seen every state at least twice. Break the news that his ladies run loose, yeah, it's getting around. I gotta tell him the truth, but I don't wanna do it, don't wanna bring him down. 'Cause being down with some Jersey clowns can almost drive you insane. What a shame he's been away, 'cause he's worked so hard to pay those bills. He's got 2 kids from his marriage before, and I wonder what makes him stay. You know it ain't the first time she's played him like this 1,000 times. It won't be the last. Break the news that his ladies run loose, yeah, it's getting around. I gotta tell him the truth, but I don't wanna do it, don't wanna bring him down. 'Cause being down with some Jersey clowns can almost drive you insane.
So here I am finally on the first tee of La Marquesa Golf and Country Club in Rojales. And I'm not alone here, I'm with a man. I'm with one of the most shining figures on the European Golf Tour. And he is still in very good shape, he is with us. And I would like to welcome the 23 times winner on the European Tour and on the Champions Tour in the USA. It is the man, it is Miguel Angel Jimenez. Hello Miguel Angel, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Very nice. Nice to be back here at La Marquesa. Yeah, nice.
Perfect. Miguel Angel, you're not here just for fun. What's the main reason you are here?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, you know, because I know Pascuala Jimenez, who is the the head professional, the manager now here at La Marquesa. And I know also the family of Quesada for so many years, and the reason is several reasons. First, see my friends and the people. There's very nice people here. It's a great persons. And another thing is I have the Miguel Ángel Jiménez Junior Circuit around Spain, where I have in every of the community I have one of the competition, one of the partials, and then the final on December. No, all the winners of each category is coming to play the final there. We are going to be there with them also, and also that is one of the reasons. And the reason is tomorrow we have the program in memory of Justo Quesada. That is the founder of Ciudad Quesada and La Marquesa Golf, and because the relation with Pascual, the Quesada family, and La Marquesa for so many years, I'm always looking in my calendar to make that thing happen, and that's the reason why all these reasons, not only one, it's a lot of reasons, and the main one, any one of the three is a good reason always to be here.
It's definitely a good reason. And you mentioned your golf academy, something very important. We all know, well, I guess when you started playing golf, you had your idols, you had your people to look up to, like, for example, the all-time greatest Seve Ballesteros. And we all have you looking up to you. It is so great for these young players who have somebody to look up to and not only see him on TV.
Yeah, well, it's nice. They are. You can see the faces of the kids. When they see you, they are always coming with the eyes like that. Coming with picture, hats, things to sign, to make a picture with you. And it's nice. It's nice to see all these faces. It's always maybe you motivated to keep doing that. And as you say, with this circuit, we are trying to give something back. Golf gives me everything in life, and I give my life to golf too. But I feel like I don't do enough, and I think that one of the reason I made the circuit, this is the 6th year I make the circuit, is that to give back, and nothing better than the kids, because the kids is the future, and they are very important for them to have a motivation. They want to come into play, and you can see in every region in Spain, and golf course is full of kids. It's 130 kids who is playing today here. And it's the motivation for me is that give something them. Tomorrow maybe they are professional, maybe no, but they're going to be sport, young, free mind, good. Going to be good doctors, lawyers, or whatever they're going to do in their life. They're going to be good because it's coming with the sport. In this case, golf, because golf is our sport, no?
And I think so, because the ones who play golf, I'm playing golf myself, so we know golf is not just a sport, is it?
It's not only a sport; it's a way of life. Also, for me, it's a way of life. But to me, everything happening in my life is around golf. And it's very important to me. And I think golf gives you a lot of values. Especially when you're a kid. When you're practicing and you play, how you improve, allow you that you're growing. You go to the studio, you go to anything you want to do in your life. If you give things, you're gonna have something back.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about the Vega Baja, where we are here in Rojales, one of the municipal areas of 27 in the Vega Baja area. What do you personally like about the Vega Baja, Rojales? And
the Vega Baja, Rojales, the main thing is the people. People, they are nice. That is the main thing, And I know I've got a lot of friends around here, and the people, they are amazing. And of course, you can see the weather we have here in Spain, the south of Europe. This is the paradise for everyone to come here. And the gastronomy, of course. You can see all these veggies that they're producing around here. It's amazing, the way the people live. It's nice. It's nice.
That's why we come from Northern Europe down to here and to enjoy and to relax, not only for holidays, for permanent residencies.
Yeah, of course. No, you have it's everything starts with the sport. We have the sun. We have a lot of golf courses around here, in all the Mediterranean. That. We have got the lack of the weather, that in the northern part of Europe now we still cannot play. Golf course is closer because it's snow, frozen, and then you got the opportunity. Just in a couple of hours you are here, no time change, nothing, and enjoy yourself and enjoy all the areas. And of course, it's moving, always nice.
What is next on your schedule as a professional golfer then?
Well, the next tournament I'm going to play is going to be in 2 weeks in Biloxi, Mississippi. We're going to start now. I take a month off, and now we're going to start till the end of the year. Start in Mississippi, then Atlanta, and keep moving on all over. Yeah.
So still a very, very busy schedule for Miguel Angel.
Very, very busy schedule. Now we're going to play 90% this year is going to be on the Champions in America, and the rest are going to play. Still playing some tournaments in the European Tour. I still active. I want to play with the young guns, to say something. No, it's good. I enjoy playing golf. I love it, and I love to play on the Champions now. That is very competitive, very nice. But I still love to go to compete in the rest after with the main tour. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, Miguel Angel is still one of the fittest guys on tour. When you see him stretching before the first tee, it's amazing how fit he is. Look at that. And he holds the record, don't you? You hold the record for the oldest winner on the European Tour.
Yes, I had the record for. Well, I think it's going to be for a long. Remember, I beat the record of Des Smith with 47. Then I beat my record, and I beat my record, and I beat my record again. You know, now it's my last tournament on the European Tour I won is Spanish Open in 2014 in Girona at the PGA. There and with 50 years old, and it was nice. Happy for that.
That's great. One last question, Miguel Angel, for the young guys and for the older golfers. When we play a round of golf together, what is the single most important tip? What would you recommend any golfer to do?
Smile and rhythm. Doesn't matter how you make your swing. You have to keep rhythm to be consistent. That's it. Rhythm. That's the only thing you can do. Sometimes when you play with someone, hey, what are you doing? Whatever you do is fine. You need to make every time the same swing. And how you can make it? Rhythm. Breathe and rhythm. That's the main thing.
Thank you very much indeed. That was it from La Marquesa Golf and Country Club. We have the Pro-Am coming up tomorrow. Today in the afternoon there is the clinic at 5 o'clock, and everybody is welcome to join and see the pro himself. Thank you very much, and we see you soon at the Vega Baja television. Bye for now. That was the exclusive interview with Miguel Angel Jimenez. I was particularly excited to meet this great man, and it was a lot of fun interviewing him. But we also we learned today about the taxes and expenses when buying a property here in Spain, and we learned all about the beautiful and so rewarding work of the Help Así Vega Association, a non-profit organization here in the Vega Baja area. That's it for today, for this week. I hope to see you next week, and thanks for watching, and see you next week.